Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. The geopolitical situation internationally is undergoing a huge change. The unipolar world headed by USA, replaced by bipolar, now tripolar and now multipolar. India, Japan, Germany, all are asserting themselves, and each one of them wants to break from being a follower. Now, India and Japan are meeting 2 plus 2, which is a great thing because both these countries are very important players in the Asia-Pacific region. And I was amazed when I read this report on Asia nuclear transition by Ashley Tellis at the Carnegie Endowment, which underlines the shared security challenges for India and Tokyo. Till now, people have been thinking that India has challenges and Japan, being an island away, doesn't have. But then reality is that the Chinese dragon has more of a challenge for Far East. For India, it is there, undeniably. And India has the misfortune have an enmity with the neighbors on both sides. Earlier, there was a benefit when King Zahir Shah was ruling Afghanistan that we had a very friendly relationship. But now with the Taliban coming in, we have to rethink our policies. So this report, which shows the challenges, the security challenges to Delhi and Tokyo, and they are increasing. The challenge is increasing exponentially, primarily because of the Chinese military power and rapid modernization of Beijing's nuclear arsenal. So what option then India and Japan have if they want to live and assert themselves? You can live as followers, as almost colonies. That's one thing. But if you want to assert yourself, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a power player, then you have got to find ways and means. And that old thinking has to go. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Indira Gandhi and now Modi, these are the only two people who thought in asserting their power. And that is something which is welcome. I recall 1971 war. I had to take a missive, a letter from Madam Gandhi to President Nixon. I met him in the Oval Office. And we had a long discussion. With the President of USA, a long discussion means about 15 minutes, that's it. And this was before he misbehaved with Mrs. Gandhi. At that time, even he was scowling all the time. The name India and especially the name of Indira Gandhi was anathema to him. He called her the woman, and I said, "Sir, she's my Prime Minister, Mr. President." And let me tell you, the Prime Minister of India is no less important than the President of any country. I didn't say USA. That was, I think, the first time India asserted itself. Because till now we had not asserted ourselves ever. But now with the challenge, we have got to assert ourselves. So we have got to change. Until now what has happened is that both India and Japan were relaxed by the fact that the China had a modest nuclear arsenal and it was not an existentialist threat. But much water is flown down the Ganges? No. So what are the factors emphasizing shared concerns of India and Japan with regard to China? These concerns concern both the countries. As a matter of fact, they concern the whole of Far East. They concern the whole of Indo-Pacific region and even Australia. Because China is already on the doorstep of Australia with having acquired a port in Solomon Islands. Now, the main factors are A. Chinese modernization and expansion of nuclear arsenal is humongous. Till a year back, the Chinese arsenal was about 350 bombs. Now, it's likely to be 1,000 warheads. Imagine a country having 1,000 warheads, having aggressive designs. What shall you do? This huge arsenal is a potential danger to peace in Indo-Pacific region and is of a prime concern to India and to Japan. The second factor, China's muscular approach to its territorial disputes with other countries. We have seen how they grabbed Tibet, which was an independent country. Then they are threatening Taiwan any day, which may not be independent but is asserting itself. So it has a muscular approach. It says either you give by consent or will take by force. And that's why Vietnam, which was helped by China in its war of independence, in its fight against the USA, is no longer very friendly with China. As a matter of fact, Vietnam and India are having closer relationship today than Vietnam and China had. So this muscular approach, this bullish approach, is something that is a matter of concern because it goes against the established sense of diplomacy. And China has adopted a strategy of salami slicing. You cut salami into pieces. So that's what it's doing. In Arunachal Pradesh, building 3 villages inside Indian territory. And that's the thing China is doing for Japan. Okinawa island they want to take over. So, and then cohesive diplomacy at frontier with Japan and India is adopting the same tactic both with Japan and with India. In the Japan Ocean and in the Indian Ocean. So they are being bullied, they are being absolute gangsters, and then they are very well armed with a nuclear. Now, salami slicing is a divide and conquer tactic which is used by operations are too small and do not give an excuse of war. You take, first they say, it's my mistake. Okay, we'll leave. Then they withdraw 2 steps. And you said, okay, they have withdrawn 2 steps, they'll withdraw another 3 steps. And next morning, they are 5 steps ahead. So, this does not make the cause worthy for a war. But slowly and steadily they are penetrating your territory. And they give the aggressor country a strategic long-term importance. Then they say, it has been with us for 5 years, so it's ours. And that is the problem with China. And that is a problem with both India and Japan are facing. The third factor, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has made it clear that if a nuclear power invades another country, international powers will not intervene. They are very reluctant to intervene because they don't want it to be a global nuclear holocaust. They are afraid that if they intervene, then the bullies would do anything. They'll unleash the weapons indiscriminately. And that will be the end of the world. So no responsible person. And that's why they have given billions of dollars worth of arms and ammunition to Ukraine, but they have not participated in the war. And this is giving China an example to go by. I am not commenting on the Ukraine war per se, or the right or wrong of it, but I'm commenting that the West is very reluctant to come in when a nuclear power invades. If it was not a nuclear power, you can be sure America would have sent its SEALs and its special forces by now. So this attack by Ukraine is setting an example. Fourth factor, which must be taken into consideration to change our nuclear policy. That is, China is closing the economic and military gap with USA. So the credibility of US extended deterrence for Japan is under question. You had assured at the end of the Second World War that they'll be responsible for the protection of Japan. Now they will not. For the simple reason, China is at par, maybe much ahead as far as the naval power is concerned. So the protection, the umbrella that was there by the big brother is no longer there, and India never had that. Fifth cause, India has a policy of minimum deterrence with a doctrine of no first use of nuclear weapons. Good. We will not use for the first time. Unless somebody throws a bomb for us, then we will retaliate. Nonsense. When a bomb is thrown to you, you won't have the capability to retaliate, except to destroy yourself and others. And then, when China is aggressive bully, is that trend, is that policy of no first use valid? No. No first use is valid when you are face to face with a responsible regime, not when you are facing an irresponsible regime. And the sixth factor, both India and Japan are not well positioned to be champions for the global abolition of nuclear weapons. They can't say abolish weapons because they don't have that much of clout. And India never agreed to give up its own nuclear weapons. And this Japan, the only country in the world which is a victim of nuclear weapon, is under US nuclear umbrella. So these are the factors which make it necessary for India and Japan to change their policy and change it urgently. So what should they do? When I talked to the defense people in India, we discussed it, and we thought that there must be something done. India needs to reconsider first its minimum deterrence posture. They should stop saying right away, no first use. Everything is fair in love and war. If we are at war, why should I not use it? Then, USA needs to revise its confronting attitude towards India's nuclear weaponry program. As a matter of fact, US should facilitate India's development of more sophisticated nuclear warheads. But here, again the global thing comes into picture. But USA can do it because they are giving only advice. India is quite capable of doing it. Then there has to be consideration of inference agreement. Most of the people are not aware about this. Inference agreement has to be signed between India, France and USA. And that will enable India, help India, assist India to build an underwater deterrence based on the ballistic missiles carrying submarines as well as nuclear attack submarines. Now submarines are of two types. One is SSN, the others are SSBN. SSBN are ballistic missiles which are carrying submarines and nuclear attack submarines. So one are carrying missiles, ballistic missiles. The others are having nuclear attack ones. So India needs them. So there should be an inference agreement. An inference agreement was proposed way back. Nothing came out of it. Inference is IN for India, F for France, S for US. So this agreement must be coming, and this agreement must now include Japan. What will happen at that time is that they would be two powers in Indo-Pacific, Japan and India, and they have good relations. And there is nothing which can cause enmity in these two countries. So that will enable them to build a bulwark against aggressive Chinese desires. And that would not only enable these two countries to have and heave a sigh of relief, but it shall be of global importance. Global peace shall be safer and durable if India and Japan change their attitudes towards the nuclear debtors, and change it not after 5 years, 10 years, but change it today. Immediate action is the need of the hour. Let's hope the government act on that, and this 2+2 meeting which is taking place does result in something really positive. Thank you.